continuing from where we had left, that is, we were discussing about the three walls of the uterus. The uterine wall has three layers: perimetrium, which is made up of connective tissue. Then the second, which is muscular, is known as myometrium. Myometrium. And the third layer, which is highly vascular, this layer is known as endometrium. This layer is known as endometrium. Now, myometrium is that layer, since it is muscular, it helps or in childbirth because it undergoes rapid contraction. And endometrium is the wall which is shed up during the menstrual cycle. Now, the end, as the uterus, which is a pear-shaped organ, it tapers gradually, which is known as the cervix. This is known as cervix. Surrounding the cervix is another muscular part which is known as the vagina. The end of the vagina, there is a membranous structure which is known as the hymen. Okay. Now we also have to study about the structure of the ovary. Plus we have to understand, so let us do this one first, that is the structure of ovary. The ovary, if we look into the structure of ovary, you will see there are a number of follicles present. These are known as primary follicles. The primary follicles, out of these primary follicles, every month from either of the two, any one ovary, one primary follicle will mature. So let's take one of these has matured and it is still surrounded by these primary follicles. This mature primary follicle gradually turns into a Graafian follicle. Now, what is a Graafian follicle? Graafian follicle is the oocyte. This is the primary oocyte which is surrounded by the follicles, and there is another layer of follicle. These are multiple layers, and in between the two layers there is a fluid filled cavity which is known as the antrum. This fluid filled cavity is known as the antrum, and this structure is known as the Graafian follicle. Now, the primary follicle which had turned, one of the cells which had turned or matured, this is known as primary oocyte. This gradually becomes the secondary oocyte, and from the secondary oocyte it turns into Graafian follicle. After the formation, that is on the 14th day, this is now called as the secondary oocyte. The secondary oocytes get released from the ovary and is taken up by the fallopian tube. So we are left here with only the Graafian follicles and some of its cells, which are now called the corpus luteum. The Graafian follicle, the corpus luteum gradually it keeps on degenerating if fertilization doesn't occur. Now within this ovary, what happens? There are hormones being secreted. The first hormone that is secreted by the primary follicles, these are known as the estrogen. Estrogen is, and the second hormone which is being secreted is by the corpus luteum, which secretes progesterone. Now all these cyclic changes which is happening inside the ovary, that is the development of the primary oocyte to secondary oocyte and the ovulation, this is called ovulation. This ovulation is happening under the influence of two hormones from the pituitary. First one is FSH and the second one is LH. We will study about this again after a few videos. We will study about this, the role of the FSH and LH and these two hormones, that is estrogen and progesterone. Now, this was the structure. Now we have to also understand the external genitalia. That is external genitalia. Now in the external genitalia, it is known as the vulva. The vulva is nothing but a depression which is known as the vestibule. Now in the vestibule you will see two openings, one upper opening and the other is the lower opening. The upper opening is the urethral opening through which the urine passes out, and the lower opening which has a thin membranous covering which we just now studied as hymen. This opening is the vaginal opening. Now surrounding this is a muscular layer which is known as the labia minora. This is known as labia minora. Surrounding the labia minora is the labia majora. Another layer which is known as the labia majora. The point where these two, that is labia minora and the labia majora meet, there is a finger-like structure, flap-like structure which is known as clitoris. It has erectile muscles. It has erectile muscles. Now the entire structure is surrounded by fatty tissue. This entire is surrounded by fatty tissue which is known as mons pubis. So this is surrounded by a fatty tissue which is known as mons pubis. It has fatty tissue as well as hair. So this is the external genitalia. I am repeating, the external genitalia is also known as the vestibule. It is a depression. It has two openings. The upper one is known as the urethral opening and the lower one is the vaginal opening, which is covered by hymen in case of virgin females. Whereas this is surrounded, the entire vestibule is surrounded by, first is labia minora and then is labia majora. The point where these two meet, there is a muscle which is known as clitoris. There is some amount of skin here also which is also known as prepuce. Let me write here, it is prepuce. Okay, so this was about the external genitalia. Now, other than this, what we have to also learn about in our next video, there is the mammary gland. Now we have to understand the structure of mammary gland. Now a mammary gland, it has number of lobules or lobe-like structures like this. Now these lobe-like structures extend Let me draw one more. There are around 20 to 30 lobe-like structures which are known as mammary lobes. These are made up of cluster of cells which are known as alveoli. From the alveoli, small ducts arise which are known as mammary tubules. The mammary tubules join to form mammary duct. The mammary ducts open into the ampulla where the milk is stored, and these the mammary ducts again open into the nipple. This is the nipple. So again I am repeating, mammary gland, it is made up of number of lobes, and there are around 20 to 30 such lobes. Each lobe is made up of alveoli. Alveoli are nothing but a bunch of cells which produce milk, and the ducts from each of these they join to form the mammary tubules. They form the mammary tubules. The mammary tubules join to form the mammary duct, and mammary ducts pour the secretion, that is the milk, into the ampulla where it is stored and which comes out through the nipple.